Episode 9, Out of the Past. Ooh, you know if someone has a creepy basement with an empty cell, that's a bad sign.
What I tell y'all about coming in my shed?
Man, in Korra, they really amp up the creep factor with bloodbending. Their strained facial expressions and the constant, sickening squelching and rattling sounds of their bodies struggling against the bending is so intense. Tenzin gets a call, and we see the aftermath of Korra and Tarlok's fight, though we also see how Tarlok has planted fake evidence to suggest that it was the Equalists who fought her. I always really liked this.
Tried to protect Korra, but we were outnumbered.
Hearing his lies on top of seeing how he's covering this up is cool. It's a fun way of using a visual medium for your story. So Lin busts the squad out of prison, and, like, it's cool. I love her, but she does this a tad too easily. Like, are there not guards around? She's in no hurry, and none of the teens are all that frantically paced either. I don't know, when 3/4 of our team got arrested in the previous episode, I sort of expected their escape from prison to be a bigger moment, but I guess not.
But Korra's in trouble. Amon captured her. No.
And here we go. This is where it starts. Way back in the second episode review I did, I revealed that I thought Makko was the second worst character, and up until now, he's been fine. This is the episode where his character really starts to take a nosedive for me. Since it's clear Korra can't punch her way out of this one, she decides to take Tenzin's advice and try meditating. And surprisingly, this actually works. It's like I said when Korra started to learn to actually airbend. She just learns better when it's trial by fire.
What are you doing here, Aang? I told you, I have this under control.
It's actually pretty cool getting a look at our classic heroes as adults now. We saw Katara in episode 1, but seeing the rest of the gang in their prime is so fun.
I've beaten every trumped-up charge you yahoos have brought against me. Hold on me, bucko! Food's on the way! Hey, you got money, right?
This is also the only time we'll get to see a glimpse of what Sokka was like as an adult. We get to see Aang, Katara, Zuko, and Toph a lot more in the follow-up seasons, so it's a bit of a bummer Sokka is stuck to being seen in just this flashback sequence, but hey, at least he got something. We don't even get a hint of Suki, Mei, or Ty Lee. I do like how Sokka is on the Republic City Council. He's not the kind of leader his father was, but he's still in a position of power, like he always wanted to be.
By using an ability that has been illegal for decades. Bloodbending.
That bloodbending is an incredibly rare skill, and it can only be performed during a full moon. Witnesses will claim that my client used bloodbending at every other time.
The man Aang and Toph arrested is Yakone, who's being accused of bloodbending and other mafioso type of crimes. And after he's sentenced to life in prison, Yakone proves that he is in fact incredibly gifted when it comes to bloodbending when he uses his powers to stop everyone in the entire courtroom. Meanwhile, the others grab Tenzin and go looking for the Equalists since they still think they're the ones who took Korra, and also they can try to find Lin's captured officers.
The Equalists are hiding underground in the maze of tunnels beneath the city.
Just like my father's secret factory. Figures.
Jesus Christ, I know! Do you want to say anything else, Asami? Jeez Louise, it's the only thing she talks about. She just constantly brings it up. You have more to your character. Stop repeating this. Anyways, they figure out a way into the Equalists' hideout, and honestly, a lot like them breaking out of prison, this was also incredibly easy for them to figure out. It's just a weird theme with this episode, that they just instantly solve their problems.
And what if Korra's not down there?
Then we pick another tunnel until we find her.
Yep, there it is. I haven't been showing it in this review, but this has been Makko's attitude all episode. Just Korra, Korra, we need Korra, gotta find Korra, 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 Korra. And yeah, just like we can see Asami thinking, it's pretty clear Makko cares for Korra a lot more than he might have initially let on. I've already spoken at length about how badly done the romance in Korra's first season is, but this just really wrecks Makko's character. Because Makko can care a lot about trying to save Korra, and still just be her dear friend, but clearly we're meant to read this as romantic. It'll become more apparent as this episode continues and leading into the next episodes. This sort of obsessive nature is always presented as a side effect of being romantically attracted to someone. The problem is, Makko hasn't really shown that much interest in Korra. We could clearly see that Korra has always been smitten with him. Even in the last episode, it got mentioned with Iki's joke. But after their big fight when they kissed each other, Makko has shown zero romantic interest towards her. So for him to suddenly dive into this hyper-protective, overly obsessive personality really comes out of nowhere. What's even worse is that he didn't even seem this upset when his own brother was taken by the Equalists. When we were in that rescue mission, where it was the same scenario, just replaced Korra with Bolin, Makko was cool, calm, level-headed. Here he's a frantic mess.
Do you think he likes Korra as more than just a friend?
This is another weird side effect of Makko's personality shift. Suddenly, now, in the middle of their serious rescue mission, we're having love triangle shenanigans? I don't know, now, when Korra is locked in a blood-bending torture cube, doesn't seem like the best time for conversations like, who has a crush on who? On the bright side, we do get my favorite character dynamic, Bolin and Asami here.
F is for friends who do stuff together.
I don't know why, their friendship is my favorite. Maybe it's the fact that their personalities are really different from each other and they have interesting conversations. Maybe it's because this is the only male and female pairing that doesn't have a history of romantic attraction towards each other. Anyways, back to the rescue mission. They don't find Korra because, surprise, the Equalists didn't take her.
Why would Tarlok make up a story about getting attacked?
Because he has Korra. He fooled us all.
I would say it's convenient that Tenzin is able to instantly jump to this conclusion, but also, like, Tarlok has been a pretty huge asshole all season. It's no surprise Tenzin figured it out. Hey, you wanna see why earthbending is my favorite style of bending? The crew rolls up to the council room, and like, even though the chief of police, the dude who arrested the kids earlier, and Tarlok, the man who called for their arrest, is right there, no one bats an eye at the 3 escaped convicts standing around? Really? Why did we arrest them in the last episode if no one is going to remember it happened? No one's even going to mention it? Really?
It's true! He took her! Because Tarlok is a bloodbender! He bloodbent Avatar Korra!
Oh, well that was solved pretty easily. I told you, it's a theme with this episode. I don't know why. Every single thing they do is just immediately solved. We see the end of Korra's vision, where we see Aang go after Yakone in full Avatar mode, and it looks badass. There's not much airbending in this season of Korra, but when there is, it always looks so cool. Aang uses the technique the lion turtle gave him to take away Yakone's bending, just like he did with Fire Lord Ozai. And now, if you haven't seen Korra before, there might be a few things popping up in your head. First, bloodbending. Aang is shown fighting off a powerful bloodbender who is capable of using this power at times other than the full moon. The same threat Korra is facing with Tarlok. Second, taking bending away, which is the same threat the other force Korra is fighting is capable of, Amon. When I first watched this season, my brain was going into hyper overdrive, trying to piece this all together. What does this mean? Is this connected somehow? How? Why? I think it's all really great, and it's a fantastic mystery to try to solve. It is a bit of a shame that it took until the 4th to last episode to introduce all of these important details, though. I think it could have been more fun if we were able to spend more time thinking about all these things and trying to piece them all together, but I understand Korra had a lot to introduce and tried to do a lot of things in its short runtime.
And I know how you bloodbent me without a full moon. You're Yakone's son.
Maybe I'm an idiot, but when I first watched the show, this literally never crossed my mind. I was just like, how can they possibly be connected? Oh, they're related. I guess that makes sense.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
What a terrifying moment. Amon has been playing in low profile for a while, so for him to just pop right up was insane. Just when bloodbending was at its creepiest, suddenly this dude walks right through it like it's no problem. At this point, I was really starting to think Amon had some sort of godlike powers, because this was bonkers. And then he just takes away Tarlok's bending, just like that. We spent the whole episode hyping up the strength a bloodbender has, the immense threat someone like that possesses, and Amon checkmates him in less than a minute? This dude is terrifying. It presents him as being incredibly, incredibly strong, and it's awesome. Korra manages to fight her way out of there and gets away from Amon ASAP. Fortunately, Korra is saved by Best Girl. And Naga brings her home so Makko can be even more obsessive and pushes everyone out of the way so it can just be him and Korra. Cool. I like this episode. Specifically, the action in this one is like some of the best the whole season has to offer. Really cool techniques, especially the earthbenders and the airbenders. The plot stuff around this episode is fine, and we learn a lot of important information that helps to further the plot and characters, and it's great seeing Amon in his full horror movie mode, and it's a real treat seeing the old gang as adults here. Unfortunately, a lot of the dialogue in this episode was pretty meh. Not just Makko's personality nosedive, but Asami being stuck worrying about their love triangle, and Bolin's jokes all flop for me in this episode, which is crazy. He's usually much funnier than this.
I had this awful dream that Korra was taken by this evil bloodbender.
A lot of things weirdly get introduced, but then immediately resolved, like how they instantly realize Tarlok tricked them, then it's instantly revealed Tarlok is a bloodbender, then he instantly gets his bending taken away. Korra's season 1 plot is arguably sloppily handled, and I would personally say they managed to juggle many of the weaving plot threads pretty well for the most part, but this episode is definitely one that feels like they were at a bit of a loss as to how to move things from one plot point to the next. The kids are busted out of jail and no one even questions it. They immediately find a way to infiltrate the Equalists' hideout with very little effort. I don't know, this episode just feels like it was a struggle for the writers. Maybe it was supposed to be 2 episodes and they had to cut them up for time, but at least there are some really great moments with this episode. It wasn't a whole dud, just a confusing one. The next episode is what I would consider the first part of the finale. It is the 3rd to last episode after all, and we have quite a few plot threads left to tackle, so I hope you'll join me as we start to wrap things up for season 1 of Korra.
Ready? Go!
What a cool game and awful sight. Something strange in the night.
And what if Korra's not down there?
Then we pick another tunnel until we find her.
Please God save me. I think that's a red flag. I don't want to get stabbed.
There's something down there.
Hey, Scotty, you find anything?
Avatar.
Shout out to my $10 patrons, you're all amazing. Nako, Cool Duck, Andrew, Ramiel, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, G Extreme, Classy Critic, Noah Perkins, Sunny Shy, Jake, Amber, Hype Man, Zero to Hero, Scaring Crows, Not All That Evil, Messiah Complex, Jacob, Virus, Ben's Sketchbook, The Watcher, Omega Fighter, Trash, Wild Pilot, and The Infinity Effect. Yeah, I hope you like this review. We're getting close to the end. It's getting very exciting. What are your thoughts on this episode? Like, there's a lot going on in this one. What do you think was done well? Was done poorly? Do you agree or disagree with anything I'm saying? Do you think this episode is great? What do you think about seeing the old members of Team Aang in this episode? Any and all thoughts and opinions, I would love to see them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.